All right, it's a beautiful Sunday evening again, and this is day number 15 in the month of February 2026. Good evening, folks, and welcome to Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, GWEL PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, MPS, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. The show is proudly powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority-GPHA, and our media partner is the Business and Financial Times, the BNFT. Now, if you want to have a grasp of all that transpired on the show tonight, make a date and grab the Thursday edition of the BNFT, and you'll be able to read all that happened here on the show. Tonight, we are streaming live on our social media pages. On Facebook, we are live at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Still on Facebook, we are live at Port of Tema. And on YouTube, we are streaming live at Iron Port. Now, we shall be getting interactive with you, so all you have to do is sit back, relax, grab your phones, and send us your messages and comments ahead via our dedicated WhatsApp line, which is writing on your screen, 0538-037353. 0538-037353. And when the time is ripe and I pick signals from the production team, we shall activate the phone lines for you to call in and contribute to the discussion. My name is Kennedy Mona. We are going for a quick break. When we return, we'll continue the show. Please stay with us.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP, Wufilia, huh? Wubefeel. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Welcome to today's edition of Serene Insurance Business News. We present to you Serena. You're right. You can complete an entire insurance process for the purchase of any motor and other insurance products, from onboarding to issuing a motor insurance sticker and policy certificate, all on WhatsApp in less than 10 minutes. Serena is simple to use and it prioritizes user ease and flexibility. You can either use voice notes or text to effortlessly issue your instant policy, cross-platform renewals, claims, and also process your payments through mobile money, Visa, and MasterCard. To engage Serena, just search for Serena Insurance on all social media handles and scan the Serena barcode or save her number 0500 517 114 and start chatting her on WhatsApp immediately. There you have it. Serena is not just a tool. It's an innovation by Serene Insurance designed to redefine how motor and travel insurance are accessed and managed. Speed, convenience, and reliability.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302 246319 or 0302 246644 or any of our branches, agencies, and brokers spread across the nation. You can as well connect with us on our WhatsApp chatbot. Efiba is waiting to assist you. Make the future predictable with Phoenix Insurance. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
All right, so welcome back. We're now going to take a look at happenings in the port and shipping industry over the last week by way of local stories. Please enjoy.
Key public and private sector stakeholders in Ghana's trade, shipping, and insurance ecosystem have converged in Accra to deliberate on the enforcement of the local marine cargo insurance policy, which took effect on February 1, 2026, despite pockets of public resistance. The stakeholder roundtable, organized by the Ghana Chamber of Shipping, was held at Palms Airport City, Accra, and aimed at breaking down the policy framework, addressing concerns from traders, and aligning enforcement expectations across institutions. Opening the engagement, President of the Ghana Chamber of Shipping, Stanley Raja Aholu, emphasized the need for sustained dialogue to ensure smooth implementation of the policy, describing it as a critical step towards strengthening Ghana's domestic insurance capacity and retaining value within the local economy.
The Chamber has its mandate is to step in to provide context, to provide clarity, to provide data for understanding of the policy.
Head of Insurance and Pensions at the Finance Sector Division of the Ministry of Finance, Daniel Frimpong Yeboah, outlined the rationale behind the policy from a government and macroeconomic perspective.
It's estimated that if we bring this on board, we are going to rake in close to 300 million cedis annually when this policy is fully implemented.
A technical presentation on the concept, benefits, and operational complexities of marine cargo insurance was delivered by Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Shipping, Dr. Emmanuel Kofimbia.
So I think it's very clear. Very clear. So you take cost, insurance, and freight, but your terms of shipment, and I say essentially, this is not so much about a law making insurance compulsory and all of, it's about a change in the terms of shipment under our Incoterm, so that it is cost and freight for your shipment and for the local insurance to be effected here in Ghana. And that is what it is saying.
The session transitioned into a plenary discussion featuring perspectives from regulators, insurers, brokers, and traders.
This conversation of marine insurance, I would just like to say as an aside that everybody stands to gain. And I see that people have a fixation with the insurance industry. But think about this. In all of this, the insurance company is going to take, for example, a premium of, let's say, 100 Ghana cedis and pay a claim of, let's say, 15,000 cedis. Who would want to do that? But the shipper walks away with comfort, knowing that he has coverage. The banks have money they can work with. The government is able to rely on the income that is coming, because at the end of the day, we need to build our country.
When it comes to capacity, the insurance industry does not lack capacity. The insurance industry has excess capacity based on what we currently have.
I am happy that you have organized this program for us to come and have these healthy discussions, so that we open up for the insurance people to know that we are not against them.
Right.
We want engagement. Then when our fears is taken off, we can come out boldly to support them. So let us pick the issues that we are afraid of.
The engagement concluded with a shared commitment from stakeholders to sustain dialogue, fine-tune implementation frameworks, and work collaboratively to ensure the local marine cargo insurance policy delivers its intended economic and industry-wide benefits.
All right, so those were happenings in the port and shipping industry over the last week. We are now going to go for the word or phrase of the day. And remember, the word or phrase of the day segment has been fashioned to bring you up to speed with the terminologies and jargons we use in the shipping industry. And today we are taking a look at canal. Canal.
Canal. In the maritime context, a canal is an engineered waterway that connects two seas or ocean routes, allowing ships to transit between them and significantly shorten global trade routes, often functioning as a strategic maritime checkpoint for international shipping.
All right, so let's go for some international port and shipping news.
AD Ports Group has joined Africa Ports Development in a 30-year concession to design, build, and operate a new dry bulk terminal at the port of Douala, strengthening the gateway that handles about 80% of Cameroon's bulk cargo and 85% of national trade. The project's first phase will deliver 2 berths, a 450-meter quay wall, and capacity of around 4 million tons annually, targeting commodities such as clinker, gypsum, fertilizer, and grain. AD Ports Group will hold an effective 51% economic interest with an investment of about 73 million euros, while the development is expected to create up to 4,000 direct and indirect jobs and improve regional supply chain for Central Africa. Construction is scheduled between 2026 and 2028, forming part of Douala Port's modernization drive and expanding AD Ports Group's growing footprint across Africa's maritime and logistics sector. The Suez Canal Authority has announced a successful transit of the Astrid Maersk, marking the Danish carrier's largest container vessel to pass through the canal in 2 years and signaling Maersk's gradual return to the route. The 350-meter methanol-fueled vessel called at Eastport said before joining the southbound convoy on the ME11 service under the Gemini Cooperation Alliance between Maersk and Hapag-Lloyd. Canal authorities say the rerouting of the service from the Cape of Good Hope back to Suez reinforces the waterway's position as the shortest and more sustainable global trade route, supported by incentives such as a 15% toll discount for large container ships. The transit forms part of a growing strategic partnership with Maersk, with the canal attracting 784 vessels in 2025 and continuing to position itself as a key artery for international shipping.
All right, so let's now do the health and safety tip for the week. And this week we are talking about ladder safety systems. Ladder safety systems.
Ladder safety systems. Ladder safety systems are engineered to provide continuous fall protection for workers using fixed ladders. Unlike traditional ladder cages, which are being phased out, these systems allow workers to remain attached to the ladder from bottom to top, automatically engaging in the event of a fall to arrest the descent and minimize injury risk. They are essential in industries where employees frequently work at heights.
Right, so we're delving into our discussion proper tonight, and we're grateful to announce to you that we're continuing what we started last week, and that's the role of customs in protecting society through vigilance and commitment. And last week I told you that this topic came about as a result of the celebration of World Customs Day. Some 2 weeks ago, Ghana joined the rest of the world to celebrate this particular World Customs Day, which comes off every year. And this year's theme was protecting society through vigilance and commitment. And so we sought to unpack what that really means and what we are doing as a country to ensure that the customs actually get straight to their mandate and do what they're supposed to do to protect the Ghanaian, to protect society in the course or in the line of their business and their work through the ports and points of entry and points of exit and all that. And so last week we were privileged to introduce to you Chief Revenue Officer Samuel Akrofi, who is the acting head of the Customs Laboratory, and indeed Senior Revenue Officer Eugene Minka Asenso, who is with the Systems Division of the Tema Collection of the Ghana Revenue Authority. That's the two gentlemen we're having a discussion with. Good evening, sirs, and welcome.
Good evening, and thank you.
We would like to say a big thank you to you for obliging us once again. Last week we said we were going to have a part 2, and fortunately for us, yes, you've been able to make it, and we're deeply grateful to you for coming. Let me go straight to Chief Revenue Officer Akrofi. If you can rehash or recap some of the things that we talked about last week, and let's set the tone for today's discussion. And then when you are done recapping, we'll go straight to some of the messages that came last week that we couldn't treat. Deal with that before we zoom into our discussion for today. So please.
Thank you very much, and
Yes,
as
sir.
usual, good evening to our cherished listeners.
Yes, sir.
We bring you greetings from the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority,
Absolutely.
Mr. Anthony
Sapon. Absolutely, sure.
and the Commissioner for Customs,
Right.
Brigadier General Anan.
Absolutely.
Glover Anan. Yes, last week we explored the topic of customs protecting society through vigilance and commitment. Like you rightly said, the theme that sets the tone for all customs administrations to rally around the job that we do globally.
Yes.
Protecting the international trade environment whilst mobilizing revenue for our various nations.
Yes.
And in Ghana, we explored how we do the balancing act of trade facilitation versus customs controls.
Yes.
And we looked at how we use tools like information and intelligence sharing, regional and international cooperation, capacity building, risk management, the use of some detection equipment, data analysis, and then customs to customs cooperation, customs to business cooperation, and then
Right.
customs to other government agency cooperation as cornerstones to protect society through vigilance and commitment.
Absolutely. Mr. Hassan, so is there anything you want to add? By way of recap.
Oh, okay. So we say custom systems do not forget.
Right.
So anytime you come through our system, come clean and then provide us with further and better particulars, be concise, since our systems will pick this data, run it through our risk management system, and then produce it when you are coming in again.
Absolutely.
And then if you don't have a good history with customs, your consignment will be subject to vigorous scrutiny.
So you go to red.
You go to red,
Instead of
physical
green.
inspection
Or
instead
yellow,
of green.
absolutely, yes.
So to avoid all those things, always when you are coming to us for the first time, take your time and then provide us with accurate and complete documentation, and then we'll be able to allow you to go through successfully.
Awesome. So yes, let's go to some of the messages that came last week that we couldn't. There are two that I want us to deal with. This one is from the name there I see is the Johnsons. Okay, it says, "Hello, officers. I am Johnson in Accra, Hacho. We are told the exchange rate at the port is always on the high. One, if it's indeed calculated on the forex rate, it should not be what we witness. And two, why can't we have a flat rate?" Yes.
So with
Mr. Systems Man.
with exchange rates, it is government policy. It is through the Bank of Ghana.
Right.
It's a forex, we trade it. So at the point where there is equilibrium, where they agreed on the demand and then the supply, that is what the Bank of Ghana agreed for customs to use it when we are converting the customs value, which is the cost, insurance, and freight. Let me add, some people also argue that why is it that you charge your duties and other taxes in dollars?
Yes.
We don't charge duties and taxes in dollars. Okay, you went to US, you bought an item.
Yes.
They gave you a commercial invoice.
Yes.
US don't deal in Ghana cedis. They deal in dollars. So the invoice that they gave you was in US dollars. So you are bringing it into Ghana. So we say present to us the original invoice.
Yes.
Once you bring the original invoice, once it is in USD, the WTO, that's World Trade Organization, agreement on customs valuation, I think Article 9 talks about conversion of currency into our local currency here. Yeah. And one key thing is that the rate at which we are going to use to convert should be published for everybody to see. So every Tuesday, customs update it on our website or on our system that we use for clearing the goods. So you all know that this is the rate that we are using to convert the commercial invoice that you presented to us in foreign currency into our local currency, which becomes the customs value or the CIF in national currency, which will form the basis for the computation of the customs duties and taxes. Whether we will have to use a flat rate or not, that is a policy decision that should come from our sector ministry. And then we as officers, once they direct us, we will implement same.
Oblige. Awesome. Great. Okay, so let's take the other one. This one says, good evening. The name I see there is Mantibia. It says, good evening. My message is directed to Mr. Asensu. Please, some of the officers at Golden Jubilee don't like working on the transit consignments. You will take your job to the assigned officer and he or she will intentionally delay you just because they say for transit, we don't pay.
No. Our duty at the port is to facilitate legitimate trade. If there is no hindrance, if there is no issues with the consignment, the officers are supposed to process them within the time that we have asked them to work within so that we can achieve our mandate of clearing goods from the port very fast. If an officer is delaying you unduly, you can always lodge a complaint with the supervisor of that officer, or you can go to the chief revenue officer outdoor and lodge a complaint. They will draw the officer attention and then he will clear you for you to go. Yes.
All right. So I'm sticking with you. And we would have to talk about the red flags, you know, misdeclarations, undervaluation, false HS codes, altered invoices, suspicious routing, or unusual packaging. Tell us, what are the common red flags?
So last week we discussed that when you are coming to us, we say identification precedes classification and valuation. Once customs is able to identify your item, we can easily classify the item for you. But when you present to us vague description, it makes classification and valuation difficult. And then the officer will have no option than to query you for you to provide more details before we can classify your item. People come to us by under declaring the value with the intention of paying less duties and taxes. There are others that also inflate the value. They bring in high value with the intention of maybe they have some money that they want to launder. So they will come in with high values. We don't allow you to go through. We will subject you to the appropriate offices for them to take action on you. And then origin. People want to enjoy some preferential treatment because if your goods is originating or is coming from the ECOWAS region, you enjoy what we call the ETLS, the ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme, and then the one under AFTA. So people try to always forge origin. If you are not able to provide us the certificate of origin issued by the Chamber of Commerce under ETLS or from the competent authority under AFTA, we will have issues and then we'll query you to provide us with the original document before we allow you to go through. If you doctor your invoice, if you hide certain details on your invoice from us, it also raises red flag, and then we will pay much attention on your consignment. How you store or you pack your goods in your container with the intention that if I stole it to the brim and then we open it at the port, the goods might get damaged, so the officer might consider that and allow you to go through. No, we will not allow it. We are there to ensure that anything which is prohibited doesn't come in. Anything which is restricted, then you have the necessary permit or regulatory document before we allow you to come in. So we will not relent on our effort to ensure that we protect the society at large. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, let me come to Mr. Kofi and find out from you how much of your work is intelligence and profiling versus fiscal checks?
Thank you very much. So in customs, we say that we let the data speak. We work with data, we work with history, we work with intelligence. and it is largely intelligence-driven. Because we come across hundreds of containers on a daily basis, and we need to inspect them thoroughly.
Yes.
If one or just a few slip through that have items that will threaten the security of our states, then we wouldn't have done our job well.
Yeah.
And the consequences will be grave for the whole nation.
Yeah.
So we work smart, like we said last week, and we let the data speak with us.
Yes.
Talking about, just following up from where CRO Asensu took over, we look at packaging, documentation, labeling.
Yes.
And if your packaging is not done right, and this goes as an advice to the general public, customs will interpret that to mean it was not packaged by a professional.
Right.
And if a professional did not package it, then the likelihood that something untoward was done is very high. So just taking off from just the packaging gives us enough information to be able to work on your consignment. And whether your consignment will be worked on quickly or not depends on things like this.
Right.
So it is intelligence, intelligence, intelligence. So before, like we said last week, we use a lot of information from the originating country if it's an import, and we compare notes. So immediately we work with the declaration that the importer has made to customs, and we do a comparison and we look at what information we have, and we find inconsistencies.
Yeah.
Then our antenna will begin to go up, and we will take more time and will be more thorough, and we'll use a lot more instruments to go through the examination, and that invariably leads to some delays.
Right.
But at the very baseline, we work with customs controls on our minds, at the same time trade facilitations on our minds. So intelligence is central to the work that we do, and to the extent that the trading public comply with the requirements of stowage and packaging and labeling and documentation, their goods would either go through very quickly or will be delayed at the ports.
Right, right. I'll still stick with you and find out from you the tools that you use, like the scanners, the risk profiling systems, the, what do we call it, alert reports, and so on. What role do these play in your daily decisions when you are, in the field?
Thank you very much. So we use a lot of scanning technology. You would have noticed that we noticed from the advertisement that was played that there was an image, a scanned image that uses density to identify areas of concern for examination, areas of focus for examination. So the X-ray systems that we use, the linear accelerator systems, the gamma, cobalt 60 gamma systems that we use help us to see where to concentrate in terms of examination. We also have other technologies that we employ. We use Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy. We use Raman spectroscopy to do quick identification of certain chemical elements and biological components that are placed in there.
Right.
We understand that at the very basic, all traders should faithfully make a declaration of what they are bringing, but we need to confirm.
Right.
So we use these tools to also confirm entered description and to further create more data that go to feed into the profile of the trading parties.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, we have a lot of information that can help characterize you or profile you based on your compliance level. And if you have complied for a very long time, then you would shift from an initial position of red, when maybe you're a first-time importer, we don't know much about you, so we start you on red. But then as you continue to comply, you begin to go on yellow and on green. And like we said the last time, we have introduced blue for authorized economic operators, in which case there is even clearance granted before arrival of the goods, and all we need to say is welcome when you bring your goods home. So the name of the game is complying. So we use a lot more tools in terms of risk management, in terms of inspections and smart systems. Now we are introducing artificial intelligence, neural networks, machine learning, deep learning interventions to further enhance the work that we do of gathering information around the consignments that are in international trade and the persons involved.
Right.
So I'll take the opportunity again to implore our trading community to make sure you do at least some background checks on the parties that you are buying from or you are sending goods to, as well as even the customs house agents. If you use a customs house agent which is notorious for infractions, then your consignment invariably would be seen as one of the consignments to be looked at more carefully. If you also use a house agent who is a very compliant person, then that organization also has its profile and a good profile in the system, and your goods will be facilitated. So that's how we draw that balance, and that's how we use these tools to make sure that we protect society through commitment and through vigilance.
Let me come to Senior Regional Officer Asenso and find out from you the difference between spotting a risk in a container and in a baggage, maybe passenger baggage, so to speak.
So the underlying principle for spotting a risk in the container and that of a passenger baggage is the same. It's risk management. It is a practice that differs. With containers, we determine risk by profiling the manifest that comes to us.
Right.
And then the declaration that is submitted to us by the declarant. We check the exporter details, the country the goods are coming from, the HS, the description of the item, the value that you declare, and then we rely on the scanner image, okay? So for containers, before we even open the container, we make decision on them because we have information that we can rely on.
Right.
Now, with passenger baggage, they are not treated as cargo.
Right.
When we say cargo, they are goods or merchandise on board an aircraft or a vessel which earns freight. And these exclude the ship stores, the passenger baggage or the crew baggage.
Right.
Because we don't treat the baggage as cargo, there are no manifests covering them.
Yes.
So the question is, how does customs know the content of them?
Sure.
Before you even take your luggage from the carousel, we know what is inside because we scan every bag that comes through the airport.
Sure.
Now, these allow us to identify the baggage with high-risk items in them or prohibited items in them. And then these enable us to subject the passenger to further checks.
Right.
There are several factors that we consider before we start the interrogation or we subject a passenger for further checks.
Yes.
Some of which I cannot mention them here for obvious reasons.
Yes.
So we don't just look and choose.
Yes.
Because we have intelligence, we base on that intelligence in doing the profiling and then subjecting certain people for them to go for further checks in their luggages.
Yes. Yeah, so I had an experience at the airport. Late last year, I was going to the US, and then I was taking palm oil. Now, we had frozen it totally in the gallons, and then it was my bag. So I was at the boarding gate, and then they announced I should come down and help with whatever. I went down, and they said, oh, what's in this bag? Because we can't see, we are not seeing what exactly it's in there. I said, oh, it's palm oil. So I had to go and open for them to check, and then they confirmed that it was palm oil before I got the green light to go. So it means your scanners are becoming...
Yes, our system is working.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely, right. Okay, so let me come to CRO Akrofi and find out from you. It's not only the customs that works in the ports. You work with other agencies. And so I just want to find out from you, from your frontline experience, how does interagency collaboration work during inspections and seizures, and where can coordination improve? For a very long time, we've talked about joint inspections at the ports because of issues of delays. This one will come, the other is not there. They would have to wait for the fellow to come. But I think they've been that clarion call for the clamor for joint inspections and all that. Tell us, how does this kind of collaboration and coordination take place in the ports?
Thank you very much. At the very highest levels, there are joint concepts of operations. There are standard operating procedures. There are guidelines to work. You know, it is all about protecting our country in terms of things moving across our borders, protecting our reputation as a country in a committee of nations, and various agencies assigned with specific tasks and responsibilities. So there are so many responsibilities, but then there's a big task to be performed.
Yeah.
What agency will perform which duty is the question to be answered. And these things are broken down in the various concepts of operations at the very high level. As it cascades to the operational level, sometimes we see overlaps in enforcement because various state agencies have, for instance, the powers of the police, powers of arrest, powers to patrol, powers to seize, and all that kind of thing. And so the collaboration sometimes becomes competition.
Yeah.
And that does not inure to trade facilitation.
Absolutely.
So what is being done to enhance this is to do joint training even of our operational officers.
Right.
Then they know each other. Then we run simulation exercises, tabletop exercises, and then other things to bring out the gaps, the capacity gaps, and build the team together, the various teams together.
Right.
That is how we address this issue. And we also do a lot of information sharing and intelligence sharing.
Right.
And we are still in the process of creating more guidelines because we seem to come across more innovative ways in which crime is committed, in which we should actually do our work well. And that is how we cascade the tasks of performing these duties from the strategic level to the operational level.
So the element of avoiding multiple agencies, repeating the same checks on one single consignment, how does it?
So we do joint inspections.
Exactly.
And at the center is the Integrated Customs Management System, the ICAMS. So all state agencies with responsibility at the ports are hooked onto the ICAMS. And then they are supposed to report on areas relating to the work that they perform.
Yeah.
So based on what you're going to report on, you join in the joint inspections.
Yes.
So inspections are not only conducted by customs. They are conducted by customs and other state agencies, depending on the material to be inspected and depending on the intelligence that we have earlier discussed.
Right.
So if you're bringing a cosmetic, expect that customs would be inspecting it jointly with the Standards Authority, the Food and Drugs Authority. If it's an industrial chemical, then expect that the Environmental Protection Agency, which may have an interest, would come in there and also make their interventions. I have to say that some of the agencies have staff on the ground, others who do not have staff on the ground. Customs performs what is called agency duties. We have specialized officers to perform some specific inspections.
Yes.
So for instance, we don't have the Nuclear Regulatory Authority on the ground, but customs are equipped with scientific officers and they have detectors to identify any radioactive material, radiological material, and things like that. It happens at the borders as well as at the ports.
Okay.
So that is how we do that work. Thank you.
Right, right. All right, so let me come to Mr. Asenso and find out from you. Our ports, we label them as customs ports. And so you play the major role, you play the lead role as far as activities is concerned. I just want to find out from you, who leads in joint operations, in the ports, and what roles are assigned? How are roles assigned to the various agencies on the ground?
I think in joint operation within the port, customs lead, as it is a customs control area.
Yes.
Whilst the other agencies handle technical or sector-specific responsibilities according to their various mandates. Now, in all this operation, the overall aim is to ensure that we adhere to global best practices.
Right.
We ensure that we protect the national interest. We ensure that every revenue that is due the state is collected.
Right.
And then we ensure that we effectively prevent and neutralize any threat that we identify.
Right. Okay. I'll come to Chief Revenue Officer Samuel Akrofi and find out from you. Communication, joint inspections, intelligence sharing, which has improved over the years?
I think all of them have improved over the years, but we'd love to hear this feedback from our cherished stakeholders.
Right.
In terms of communication, we have provided a single window for real-time communication between customs and then the other government agencies, as well as between the customs administration and the trading public.
Right.
And from time to time, we release informations and guidance documents relating to various tasks that have to be performed. I also have to say that there are various channels for feedback, and that is very crucial to the work. In fact, this participation on Eye on Port is a testament to how customs wants to be forward-leaning in terms of its communication with the general public. Yes.
Promoting accountability and transparency in your operations. Okay, so Mr. Asenso, public trust matters. From the front line, how do customs officers build confidence that enforcement is professional, fair, and consistent, whilst being firm against elements of criminality?
I think at the front end, custom officers can build trust by living the GRA core values,
right,
which we have termed as FIRST. The F stands for fairness. We are supposed to be fair and treat everybody equally, okay, and without any form of discrimination or favoritism, okay. Fairness, treat everybody equally.
Right.
The I stand for integrity. We are supposed to be honest and transparent in all our dealings. Okay. And then the R stand for responsiveness. We are supposed to act promptly on issues or concerns that are brought to our attention.
Yes.
We shouldn't relent on our effort. We are supposed to be proactive. And even in doing so, we are encouraged to meet our clients through their preferred channels of communication, okay? And then the S stand for service.
Yes.
Service here means we protect society, we facilitate legitimate trade, and in doing so, we are supposed to be professionals.
Right.
We are supposed to ensure professionalism in all our interactions.
Right.
And then the T stand for teamwork. We are supposed to collaborate with our colleagues in the office, collaborate with government agencies, both national and international, and ensure that there is a coordination in our quest for enforcing the laws that are meant for us to protect the society and facilitate legitimate trade.
Okay. So we have fairness, integrity, responsibility, service, and teamwork.
Yes.
First. Okay. CRO, what behavior should the public expect from an officer? Is it professionalism, clear explanation, or documentation?
Thank you very much. That's a very useful question.
Yes.
In 2026, the Ghana Revenue Authority has a working theme which syncs with the WCO theme.
Yes.
It's transforming for impact and growth, people, performance, and compliance.
Yeah.
So we view the general public, the trading public, as our partners in nation building.
Yes.
And therefore, the behavior that is expected from an officer is one of fairness, it's one of courtesy, it's one of professionalism. By professionalism, sticking to the rules, and like the second comment that came, from the caller or the person who sends the message.
Yes.
We have key performance indicators, we have key results areas. So if you think that it has exceeded the time and you are being unduly delayed, you reserve the right to go to the next in command. Like we said last week, we operate a very open door policy. And therefore, we want to treat our clients, our cherished clients, as partners in nation building. We need to get the revenue for our nation building. And it is only when businesses thrive that they can pay taxes that our government can also use. So it is this posture that informs the behavior of customs officers. We would smile with you, but please expect firmness and expect fairness and expect predictability in international trade. Very soon we will launch a project to talk about the advanced ruling system. And that gives some more predictability. So we have a core mandate to collect or mobilize revenue in a transparent, fair, efficient, and effective manner. And that is what we want to do, and that is what the general public should expect from customs this year and beyond.
Right. Okay, so in terms of complaints and feedback, what are the channels that exist for people who feel mistreated, people who think their rights have been trampled upon in the line of duty, to use to make such complaints or to give such feedback?
Thank you very much. Apart from what I just said about you taking advantage of the open door policy to make a report to superior officers, the trading public also reserves the right to walk into complaint desks that have been established, both at the head office and at other customs posts. We actually have a unit called the Internal Affairs, where if you have issues concerning extortion, harassment, or anything that you think it's discrimination on your, that is against you, you reserve the right to use those channels to also complain. We actually have an email that you can also quickly send to, and please let's take note of info@gra.gov.gh. info@gra.gov.gh. We respond to emails sent to that particular address. And kindly provide us information that can help us to reach out to you. And please be clear about what the situation is. All customs officers are supposed to wear name tags. They wear ranks. So these are pieces of information that you can use to identify an officer. We also have the toll-free 0800 number. And please, let's take it down, 0800 900 110. I repeat, 0800 900 110.
And the first one is info@gra.gov.gh.
Yes. So those ones, internal affairs, officers at the head office, complaint desks set up everywhere, and the sector commanders and the officers in charge also receive complaints. And these are channels that we use to receive feedback. And again, if you are satisfied with our service, you can also give us that information. It gives us a pat on the back, and we know that we are doing something right. We understand that we are in a VUCA world, right, which is volatile, uncertain, complex, and then ambiguous. So we are working very hard to bring the vision very clearly. We want to be a world-class customs administration that is reputed for professionalism, integrity, and excellence. So we want to be very clear in communicating, and we are agile in the work that we do. So we understand the system, and we are doing our best. So feedback is absolutely crucial to making sure that we continue to serve the public better.
The channels that you just mentioned, how different are they from the channel that someone would use if the fellow is coming to blow the whistle? I know you have an incentive for people who blow the whistle, particularly when it comes to people who owe the state in terms of taxes and all that. Is that particular channel different from what you just mentioned?
Based on sensitivity, I would say that speak to a superior officer.
Right.
If you want to blow the whistle, because we protect the whistle blowers.
Absolutely.
And so if you can use the emails, the email, and we will reach out to you.
Right.
And then we can take the information from you.
Absolutely.
Alternatively, if you cannot use the email, then you could walk to any customs office and speak with the commander, and he would gladly listen to you and take your feedback.
Okay. All right. Mr. Asenso, we have some thesis for you. We just wanted to take us through the journey of a consignment. For instance, when it from arrival to release, where do you check, what to do, what do you check, and what triggers an inspection?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
The journey of every consignment begins with the submission of the manifest.
Yes.
Once you submit the manifest or the manifest is submitted, customs profile the manifest.
Yes.
Then we'll keep the information. Then the declarant or the agent or the importer will put in a customs declaration. That is a means through which you provide the details concerning the consignment to customs.
Right.
Once we receive that, the declaration will go through classification, valuation, and then it will go to supervisor approval.
Right.
The supervisors do what we call quality assurance. Now, once the BOE is traveling through this process, the system's risk management engine will automatically assign a risk level to the consignment.
Right.
It could be blue, it could be green, it could be yellow, it could be red.
Which one is the blue?
The authorized economic operators.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right, sure.
So if the supervisor conducting the quality assurance, when you look at the circumstances surrounding that BOE and he's not satisfied, he can escalate the risk either from blue to red or from green to red or from yellow to red.
Right.
Now, when that is done, the assessment will go to the agent or the declarant for them to make a determination whether to accept the assessment, for the system to generate the tax bill, for them to go to the bank and make payment.
Right.
Or they have the option to object the assessment to start the appeal process. So let's assume they have accepted the assessment and then generated a tax bill, and then they go to the bank and make payment. After making payment at the bank, the next step is for them to go to the shipping line and pay their handling charges and other charges. Once they are done with that, they were given a document we call delivery order.
Right.
They will use the delivery order to go and make a service request. When we say service request here, it means you are telling the terminal to make your container available and then assign the joint inspection team for them to conduct physical inspection on the consignment. But before your container will come, your container will be scanned. So every container too that comes through the port is scanned. When it is scanned, the scan officer will make a determination on the verdict that comes out of the scan. So per the description of the item that you provide, and then what the scan officer sees during the scan process, if there are any discrepancy, if there's any abnormality, he will indicate it and put his remarks into the system.
Right.
So the scan officer too has the role or the mandate to escalate the risk.
Right.
Maybe during the classification, valuation, and supervisor approval, your consignment was meant for green or yellow or blue. But during scanning, the scan officer detected something, an abnormality. He will say no. Even though this was assigned blue, green, or yellow, because I have detected something, I'm escalating it to red so that it will go for physical inspection. After that, if it is routed for physical inspection, the system will assign the examination officer together with the joint inspection team.
Right.
So at a date and a time, they will all converge, and then they will cut the seal and open the container, and then they will do the physical inspection. Once there are any infraction in the form of prohibited item or a restricted item of which you don't have the necessary permit, license, certificate, or regulatory document, it will be detained. If it is prohibited, it will be seized. If there are unentered, when we say an unentered, meaning you brought an item which you did not declare in the bill of entry or the declaration, you have committed a customs offense. And then the officer will raise customs offense report. And then they will charge you with a short collection together with the appropriate penalty for you to pay. Once you are able to make the payment of the short collection, once again, we don't make payment at the port. You have to go to the bank and make the payment. And then when you come, you need not to show the receipt to the officer. The officer can verify it from the system. Once you satisfy all this condition, the officer can now release you. And then the members of the joint inspection team, either Food and Drugs Authority, Ghana Standard Authority, or the rest, they too, they will go to their front end and then release you. Once they release you, you do your truck appointment, put your container on the truck, and then you go to preventive. When it gets to the preventive gate, they are also supposed to check the document against the consignment that you are taking out, if everything tallies, and then they will gate you out from the port. But like we discussed last week, if you take your consignment from the port, the clearance process doesn't end there. There is post-clearance audit. And per the Customs Act, at least up to 6 years, they can come after you. So these are basically the journey of a consignment. From arrival. Let me add that we also allow what we call the pre-arrival system. Okay, I'm in Ghana. We are in February. I can buy a car today, but the car will arrive in May. The system allows me to put in a declaration, pay my duties and taxes, and then wait. Once the goods arrive, and then the manifest is submitted, we call something manifest matching. What it means is that we want to compare the details in the manifest that is submitted to customs against the details you put in the declaration. If there are no discrepancies, we allow you to go and take delivery of your consignment, and then you can go away.
Awesome. So this is our report here on Metro TV. Tonight we're taking a look at the part 2 of the role of customs in protecting society through vigilance and commitment. With us in the studios, Chief Revenue Officer Samuel Akrofi, Acting Head, Ghana Customs Laboratory, and indeed Senior Revenue Officer Eugene Minkasen. So he is an officer at the Tema Systems, Tema Collection, the Systems Division of the Tema Collection of the Ghana Revenue Authority. And so they are the two gentlemen we're having a discussion with. We're going to go for a quick break. When we return, I'll continue the show. That's where we'll get to take your messages and also give you the opportunity to call in and contribute to the discussion. Please stay with us.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP will feel ya, huh? Will be feel. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, streetlights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Welcome to today's edition of Serene Insurance Business News. We present to you Serena. You're right. You can complete an entire insurance process for the purchase of any motor and other insurance products, from onboarding to issuing a motor insurance sticker and policy certificate, all on WhatsApp in less than 10 minutes. Serena is simple to use and it prioritizes user ease and flexibility. You can either use voice notes or text to effortlessly issue your instant policy, cross-platform renewals, claims, and also process your payments through mobile money, Visa, and MasterCard. To engage Serena, just search for Serena Insurance on all social media handles and scan the Serena barcode or save her number 0500 517 114 and start chatting her on WhatsApp immediately. There you have it. Serena is not just a tool, it's an innovation by Serena Insurance designed to redefine how motor and travel insurance are accessed and managed. Speed, convenience, and reliability.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302 246319 or 0302 246644 or any of our branches, agencies, and brokers spread across the nation. You can as well connect with us on our WhatsApp chatbot. Efiba is waiting to assist you. Make the future predictable with Phoenix Insurance. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
All right, welcome back. So, like I said, we are taking a look at the part 2 of the role of customs in protecting society through vigilance and commitment. With us in the studios, Chief Revenue Officer Samuel Akrofi, Acting Head, Ghana Customs Laboratory, and indeed Senior Revenue Officer Eugene Minkasen. So, he is with the Systems Unit at the Tema Collection of the Ghana Revenue Authority. They are the two gentlemen we're having a discussion with. Now you've got to have the opportunity to call in and contribute to the discussion. The number to dial is right on the screen, 0245834980, 0245834980. Pretty shortly, we shall also be taking your messages. I've seen some of them. We will be going into the inbox to bring them out to you. And so please make that call if you have anything bothering your mind. And my guest will be candid and glad enough to oblige you and proffer some responses to you. So let's continue in studio. I think we've talked about, we just finished with the journey from arrival to release. And so let me come to CRO, Samuel Akrofi, and find out from you. After a seizure, when items are seized, what happens?
Thank you very much. That's a very interesting question.
Yes.
I'd like to indicate that under Section 124 of the Customs Act, 2015 Act 891, if you use your vehicle to move uncustomed goods, that conveyance in itself, under subsection 1 of Section 124, is liable to seizure.
Right.
So customs can seize and will seize any conveyance that was used to carry on custom goods or other goods that are liable to seizure. So
Right.
if you attempt to import or any attempted removal or movement or exportation or attempted exportation using a conveyance, that conveyance itself is liable to seizure.
Right.
So after a seizure, Section 125 provides that anybody who is not happy that their goods have been seized, you reserve the right to write to the Commissioner General, indicating your grievance or your displeasure at the action of customs.
Yes.
And you have to do that within 30 days.
Right.
And you indicate that your items cannot be forfeited to the state.
Right.
But then generally, if you don't exercise that option, then Section 126 of Act 891 kicks in. The goods will be transferred to the state warehouse, and the state operates a warehouse where goods that have either stayed too long at the port or for some reason have not been claimed or have been seized because they offend any rules will be transferred there. The law allows the Commissioner General to dispose of such items by public auction.
Right.
So Section 126 of Act 891 spells out the procedures by which this disposal can occur. I have to also indicate that under subsection 4 of this section 126, if it's a perishable item, then it will quickly be sold within 14 days.
Right.
But then not until it's been published in the newspapers that have, or gazetted, you know, for the public to know.
Right.
So this is how such goods are treated. They are treated in accordance with the law.
I'll also stay with you and find out from you. When customs intercepts dangerous or prohibited goods, what happens next? Documentation, handover, investigation, prosecution, disposal?
Yes, thank you very much. So dangerous goods, you have mentioned the technical terminology. Talks about some 9 classes of goods ranging from explosives through to chemicals, to radioactive materials, to the 9th class is called other, miscellaneous, you know, goods, which present certain dangers. You know, for each of the goods that are involved, there are state competent authorities whom we deal with. So customs deals with these agencies depending on the nature of the dangerous goods. So we either work with the Food and Drugs Authority, seek clearance and authorization from the Food and Drugs Authority, and then, or the Narcotics Control Commission, and not because we want to sell narcotics or we want to auction narcotics, but certain chemicals are precursors to some narcotic materials. So we make sure that we seek their guidance to give these items to people who have been certified by the Narcotics Control Agency or to even the Environmental Protection Authority. We know that certain chemicals can be used in industry, but for instance, can also be used or have been implicated in illegal mining. And customs will not be the ones to sell these goods to such agencies. I must say that we've worked very well with the Environmental Protection Authority on this issue when we have intercepted a lot of sodium cyanide that were being smuggled into the country. And each time we have made these interceptions, the Environmental Protection Authority have been forthcoming with information on who they have authorized to use cyanidation as a process. And we make sure that it is auctioned to those organizations that have been properly so authorized. If we seize any material that is of class 7 in the dangerous goods, it's radioactive materials, then we seek the authorization or the collaboration of the Nuclear Regulatory Authority. In many cases, such dangerous goods are sent to the waste treatment facility at the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission until it is found out that it can be used in another process, and then it will be disposed of accordingly.
So have there been instances where people have been prosecuted for some of these infractions?
Yes, there have been instances of prosecution of people bringing in dangerous goods.
Right.
Specifically, we can talk about medicines. This year, we've done a number of prosecutions with the Food and Drugs Authority relating to the tapentadol, carisoprodol, or the other opioids that are being imported.
Yeah.
And a number of such cases are even in courts. So we do a lot of collaboration, and we want to just implore the general public that customs, you see us wearing the uniform, but there are scientists amongst customs. There are engineers in customs. There are professional people who can identify these materials if you do not move them appropriately. The right thing to do is for such items that are called restricted goods, get a permit, get a license, get a certificate, and you are free. If you think that you can move them anyhow, because you estimate that customs does not have the capacity, you will be very shocked. And we have had a lot of seizures from very respectable people. And then they come back and then they want to plead. But at the time law enforcement kicks in, it will be too late to plead. We are opening our doors. Our doors are open. If you want advice, if you want guidance, please, you can come and get the guidance. Don't wait until we find you in motion and then you come back that you are coming to plead. At that time, the law enforcement cap will be on. And there will be no salvation for such people. We also know that certain people intentionally test the systems. We have noticed, for instance, in the area of radioactive materials, that companies operate in both, say, Ghana and Ivory Coast, or Ghana and Togo, and then they are moving a density, meter, a density gauge meter. I wouldn't want to mention brand names, but density meters for road construction to see compactness of the soil, and some of these things have cesium-137, which is a powder and can be used and have been implicated in a number of terrorist attacks and violent extremist organization attacks. You may be properly authorized to use it in country, but if you are moving it from one place to the other, you have to get the necessary permits. Even if you are moving it from one region of Ghana to the other region of Ghana, we need to make sure that these materials don't go out of regulatory control, and customs will be strict on them. We, together with the regulatory agencies, collaborate, and then we do announced inspections, unannounced inspections, audits, and all that. So we encourage that the processes are not cumbersome. You would notice that the ICOMS is a very, what word can I use for it? It's a very interactive system, which provides the opportunity for the members of the general public to interact with customs and to the law enforcement agencies and other government agencies with responsibility for controlling the movement of these items. Please, let's take advantage of these existing systems. And I encourage importers and companies and organizations to familiarize themselves with the clearance procedures so they don't fall foul of the law. So we work very closely with these agencies and we make sure that the right thing is done and the image and the integrity of Ghana is preserved.
Absolutely. Awesome. Awesome. Let me come to Senior Revenue Officer Eugene Minkasen. So, and find out from you now, if a citizen suspects smuggling or sees suspicious goods in the market, what should they do? And why does that information matter to customs?
Thank you very much. If anyone notices suspicious goods or notice suspected smuggling, they should immediately inform customs. Confidentiality is assured. We will not disclose the identity of such persons. Again, I'm told management is in the process of reinstituting the informant scheme rewards, whereby persons who are able to give us some information which will lead to certain arrests are given some form of financial rewards. Now, those information are very extremely valuable to us.
Right.
It helps us identify hidden networks so that we can end the spread of illicit or illegal activities within the country.
Right.
Such information also help us to protect lives by keeping dangerous goods, dangerous weapons, illicit drugs from the market.
Yeah.
And by so doing, ensuring that there is a strong national security, and then we'll be able to cramp on those activities that comes in.
Right.
We say that people who speak up, okay, they really help in protecting the society.
Yeah.
So we are encouraging the public that if you see something, say something. Thank you.
Absolutely. I know that mantra. See something, say something. And how's the response been since you initiated the see something, say something?
From time to time, people come, give information, and then it leads to certain arrests.
And they get the Benjamins too.
So previously, it used to, where people used to get it, and then it ceased.
Right.
But I think management has been informed that it used to help, so they should bring it back.
People
so they
volunteer.
are in the process of bringing it back, so that the public can volunteer and give us intelligence, which we can use it to protect the society and everybody.
Absolutely. I'm still staying with you. And the appeal process, we know that there's a system in place for people to appeal, you know, customs house agents and all those things when they are going through the process of, you know, clearing cargo from the ports. How can importers access that, and what do they stand to benefit if they appeal?
So, like I was trying to explain when I was taking you through the journey of a BOE.
Yes.
See, when the assessment is done, okay, we all do the assessment on behalf of the Commissioner General.
Right.
Once the assessment is done, the declarant has two options: to either object, accept it, and generate the tax bill and go and pay, or object it for it to start the appeal process. If you read Article 11 of the World Trade Organization Agreement on Customs Valuation, it gives the importers the right to appeal customs valuation decision without any penalty. Okay, so if customs does an assessment for you and you don't agree with the assessment, you are free to lodge formal appeal, and then customs will look at your appeal and then we will work on it for you.
Right.
So what areas or what items can you appeal on? One, value. We are talking about transaction value, which is the price you actually paid or payable when the goods were sold for export into Ghana.
Right.
And it is evident by the commercial invoice. So when you come in and customs reject your transaction value and use any of the alternative valuation methods to value your item, and you are not in agreement, you can lodge an appeal.
Right.
We call something adjustment, which are the provisions of Article 8 of the ACV, Agreement on Customs Valuation.
Okay.
When we say adjustment, they refer to the additions or subtractions that we make to the price actually paid or payable. So examples are selling or buying commissions, interest, commissions, royalties. We call something assist. If customs adjust any of this and you are not in agreement, you can always lodge a formal appeal and it will be looked at for you.
Right.
We are looking at classification.
Yes.
Your HS code. You declare an HS code. When you went to classification, customs reassess it. Maybe the initial one, you are supposed to pay 5% or 10%. Customs has reassessed it. Now you are paying 20% or 35%. The initial one, you are not supposed to pay import VAT or import excise.
Right.
The new one, you are supposed to pay. You are not in agreement. You can't appeal to customs. It will look at it for you.
Right.
Origin. You are bringing an item, you intend to enjoy certain preferential treatment either under ETLS or under AFTA.
Yes.
And then customs is challenging the origin of the consignment. So they say, because we challenge or we dispute the origin, you are now unable to enjoy those preferential treatment. You can appeal to customs.
Okay.
When your goods are seized.
You can appeal to customs when your goods are seized. We'll continue from there.
Yes.
But let's welcome Frederick. I understand he's calling from Kanda. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Awesome. Please shoot.
Yeah, I want to ask a question. I have a car currently at the port, but I was notified that my chassis has been utilized by another person since 2023. So
That
I
your
don't know how
okay, I
that
think
is
you
going
sent
to
a
be
message.
solved.
Okay, yes. Okay. Fred, Frederick.
Yeah,
Yes, please go ahead.
I'm saying I have
Yes.
a car at the port,
Yes.
and in the process of clearing it, I was notified that the chassis has been utilized.
The chassis
By
has been
another,
tampered with.
yeah, the chassis number has been utilized, meaning it has been cleared already.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know how that can be solved.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so Frederick,
Yeah.
now when you purchase the vehicle, you were issued with a bill of lading. Now the bill of lading captures the chassis of the vehicle. Okay.
Yes.
Now, if the chassis that you entered in the ICOM system, if it is correct and you have not made any error in terms of omission or addition, it shouldn't give you that problem because chassis are unique.
Yeah, to every car.
Chassis are unique. Now, the common issue with this is that maybe the goods were consolidated. He gave the bill or the consolidator when he did the breakdown. Some of the consolidated are also self-declarant.
Right.
So they want to pass the declaration on your behalf. At the end of the day, they will charge you.
Right.
So maybe he gave the bill to Frederick. Frederick gave it to his or his agent, and his agent is trying to pass the declaration. Because the consolidator has already passed the declaration,
His
the
message,
system,
his message here says, hello, I'm Sadiq. I'm sure, yeah, the same Freddy from Kanda. I have a car currently at the port, but I was notified that my car chassis had already been utilized by another car since 2023. My car has the original chassis. How does that get resolved?
So he wants solution.
Yes.
So usually you can get the importer giving the bill to two different agents, and then they will all put in the declaration.
Right.
The system will not allow the two to go through. So you have this issue.
Yes.
Usually how we resolve this issue is that when he comes in, we will ask him to go to the marker for the marker to conduct physical inspection on the vehicle to ascertain the correct chassis. Sometimes we put diagnostic machines on the vehicle to get the correct chassis. If it matches with what is in the what is on the other car that came in 2023, we will contact the importer that brought the initial one, and then wherever he is, we can ask him to take the vehicle to the nearest customs office, and then we'll assign an officer for him to conduct physical inspection to ascertain that that chassis, at the time of clearance, were there any error, or between the two, which one has been tempered, so that the two are reading the same.
Absolutely.
Once we get this information, we can easily resolve the issues.
Our time is almost up, but I understand we have Stephen from Kaswa. Good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yes, please shoot.
Yeah, please, I have some issue and I want clarification.
Okay.
Assuming in my area, I visit DVLA to present my bill of lading to check the duty I'm supposed to pay. If the custom officer gave me the amount of this, and then my agent is giving, so what my agent is giving me is contrary to what what should I do?
Did you get it? Okay.
So he said he gave his car for an officer, a bill of lading, for an officer to do an estimate of how much he's supposed to pay as duties and taxes.
Right.
And then when the actual assessment came in, there are differences in it, or what the agent is giving him, there is difference in it.
Right.
Now, there are two things here. The person who gave you the estimate, it is at the prevailing exchange rate. Exchange rate change every Tuesday.
Yes.
So maybe at the time of the actual assessment, there has been a change in the exchange rate.
Sure.
Again, every vehicle is unique. Maybe the person who did the estimate for you used a general check.
Sure.
Okay, because vehicles comes with special features.
Yes.
And each special feature add value to the vehicle.
Right.
Okay. And then another one, if the agent is giving him a different value, he should ask the agent to give him a copy of the customs declaration. When you look on the customs declaration, we have a QR code there.
Yeah.
You can use the camera of your phone to scan it. Once you scan and you open, it will tell you
How
the
much
actual amount you are supposed to pay as import duties and taxes.
Absolutely. Awesome. Awesome. All right, so let's take this last message and then wrap up. It says, please, can I go to the nearby DVLA office and check the duty of my vehicle before contacting the agent? And if the difference contradicts, what should I do? Please, I need clarification. I think this is the guy that just called.
Yes.
I
The
think he's the one,
DVLA don't check values
duties,
of
yeah.
vehicles.
Yeah.
If you want to check values of your vehicle, you can check for an estimate on our platform.
Absolutely.
When you go to external.unipassghana.com and you go to use or duty calculator, and then you go to use vehicle duty calculator, it will give you sample of similar vehicles that has been cleared previously.
And how much they
and
paid,
mind you, when you are going through that data, look at the exchange rate that reflects current realities. Okay, there are dates there. So if we are in February, look for exchange rate around February. Don't go and look at 2020 something date and then use that exchange rate. You might see huge variations between the values.
All right, so I think we would have to wrap up for today. We'd like to say a big thanks to our guests who have been with us in the studios, Chief Revenue Officer Samuel Akrofi, who is the acting head of the Ghana Customs Laboratory. And indeed, we also have Senior Revenue Officer Eugene Minka Asenso, who is a Senior Revenue Officer at the Systems Unit, Tema Collection, Ghana Revenue Authority. We thank you so much, gentlemen, for making a date and for coming. We've had a very interesting and insightful discussion here on Iron Port on your quest to, protect society through vigilance and commitment, and we're deeply grateful to you for making time and for coming and sharing your thoughts with us. And I know that this is not the end. We'll always call on you, and I'm sure we can always be partners in, educating the masses and the generality of the Ghanaian people. I want to say a big thanks to our sponsors, Ghana Revenue Authority, GOEL PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, MPS, and indeed Phoenix Insurance. And remember, Iron Port is proudly powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA. And treat you to watch the abridged version of Iron Port on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on Ghana Television GTV. And keep watching the rest of our programs here on Metro TV as well. Indeed, God willing, next week we shall bounce back with another wonderful edition of your favorite Iron Port program. The name is Kennedy Mona, and we wish you a blessed and super week ahead. We thank you so much for choosing us. God bless, no less, and we are out.